Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dude's Brunch, your late night morning talk show where four people talk about four things they found on the internet. I'm your host Taylor Olmstead. With me as always to talk about fun stuff you found online, it's graphic designer and internet personality Tyler Reed. Tyler, what did you have for brunch today?
That's right, that is me. You're talking to me. Finally, someone's noticed. Thank you. Hi everyone. I went to the what is it called? It's like an Asian street market fair food festival.
Asian food festival, yeah. I think that's the official name.
Right. In Washington Park. So I had Spam sushi. I had sauteed peanut chicken. I had like a Vietnamese okonomiyaki, which is pretty good. I had a plethora of things. It's very Eastern and delicious.
Sounds like you had a very multicultural experience.
I guess you could say that.
Did you have any coffee?
Well, I had my cold brew today, but I also had some Vietnamese iced coffee, which uses condensed milk and a bunch of sugar, so it's very sweet. So, yes.
Interesting.
That's all I have to say about that. All right, that's fine.
Street art aficionado and chronically sad person, Shaun Evans. How are you, buddy? What did you have for brunch today?
I'm well. Well, I don't really want to say what I had for brunch today because I got up late and went into work early. But earlier this week, Sarah and I were going around D.C. after her interviews, and we stumbled on this place over in Columbia called Zombie Coffee and Donuts. Delicious. Oh my god, it was so good. It's just like little off the main street kind of place. They make all of their donuts right in front of you. Everything is fresh, and then they customize every donut for you. So Sarah had the strawberry icing and Captain Crunch donut, and I had the glazed with coconut shreds on top. And they were burn your mouth hot, which only made them that much better.
Hot donuts
so what you're
are
saying
best
is
donuts.
It's the Chipotle of donuts.
Basically, I told Sarah that we should open up a franchise.
It's the Uber of donuts.
I'm pretty sure there is an Uber of donuts, actually.
Wait.
It's called Uber Eats. They'll deliver food to your house. She's the baddest bitch in her office casual Friday. It's Janet Ford. Janet, how are you? What did you have
Hi.
for brunch today?
I'm doing okay. Taylor made me delete a whole bunch of stuff that I just said, which was really funny, so I can't remember any of it. But I'm all right.
It's just like Michael Scott. The second take is always better than the first.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Today, I actually ate brunch. I went to Perkins, which is as depressing as it always is. Because...
Old people.
Yeah. Well, Josh is...
Forward out for the
take us
Eastgate
out,
Perkins
so.
for a highway.
Oh, really? Oh, that's kind of sad. No, I ate at Austintown, Ohio, which is a small town. That's all I'm going to say about it. But, yeah, so we ate some breakfast. You know, living the dream.
Perkins just saps the life right out of a human being.
Yeah, I'm case in point right here. I also found something out about my dog, if you guys want to hear a cool story about my dog.
Sure.
All right, so my dog is named Churchill, Churchy for short. We found out over the weekend he responds if you call him Herpy. If you say, "You're Herpy, here, come here, Herpy," he'll come, and it's awesome. So that's my cool story about the word herpes. My dog responds to it. His new name is Herp Hill. He comes into my life once a week, and then he leaves. And then it's just all over again. So literally the herpes of my life.
Well, I'm glad that some sort of happiness, I guess.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this is a train wreck. All right. All right, next person.
Well, I'm your host, Taylor, and this morning for brunch, I had some leftover taco meat, so I made breakfast burritos, and they were delicious. And I should probably just make them all of the time. But, I probably won't because I'm lazy.
Did you season that meat?
Well, yeah, it was pre-seasoned. I had made tacos, and then I used the same meat to make breakfast burritos.
Right, but what kind of seasoning did you use for the tacos?
Oh, just like generic taco seasoning.
What do you use to season your tacos?
Actually, we had tacos for dinner today, so I made a custom blend that I found on the internet. I'm just kidding. I just don't
the rest
like.
of our lives is like, what do you put in your taco meat? What do you put in your meat?
Well, now that we've learned what everyone puts in their meat, it's time to figure out what's in their search history. So, as always, we have 4 topics from all around the internet, and you can play along at home with Dudes Brunch Bingo, dudesbrunch.wordpress.com/bingo. First person to tweet in a winning bingo board gets a prize. So, our first topic this week comes from Janet. Janet, what did you find online?
Alrighty, folks. So all you nerds out there, aka me and Tyler, know that the 3 new starters for the new Pokemon game were released. So it's Pokemon Sun and I forget what the other one is. Moon. Sweet,
Jesus.
thanks.
See, even I knew that.
Hey, good. I just know the Sun because I want Sun. I don't know why. It just sounds cooler than Moon. But anyways, so that got released. And of course, then the internet took it and just chewed it up and spat it out like the internet does. So, first of all, did the 3 of you see the 3 starters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, because we're talking about it.
Yeah, I was like, I really hope so, because, yeah. Have you guys seen any of the memes going around, like what people have been talking about? Because that's how I found out about it. I didn't know that anything had been released until I went on Twitter, and like Twitter was losing their goddamn mind over it.
I heard some people talking about owl Pokemon, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, new Pokemon. And that was the extent of it, and then I saw the picture when Tyler sent it to me. They look like Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, yes, that's true.
I haven't seen any of the memes, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I mean, you're not really missing much. Pretty much, well, and I'm assuming, Tyler, you've seen. I'm sorry, I just assumed because you're a nerd like me. We were on the same page. I'm sorry, buddy.
I have a personal anecdote to talk about, but that's fine.
Okay, fine. No, talk about it.
All right. I saw a lot of them because I follow lots and lots and lots of like illustrators on Twitter, or like I know people that like share it a lot. So I've seen pretty much the like any possible combinations of things that have been like any of the memes possible. But actually, my girlfriend Catherine DiMartino did some Pokemon variations for Litten, the fire cat Pokemon, based on the breeding it with like different animals. So she did like with like 5 or 6 like different like cat Pokemon. So but like people have already like plushes were made of these Pokemon within the day that they came out. Like people made their own like plushes for it. So like the fan like fervor is in full effect. People get so fucking hyped for these new starters to come out.
Yeah. Which like is kind of amazing to me. And that's actually leading up to my second question, which I mean, we're all working professionals. Pokemon came out when we were in grade school, but now we're all out of school working. Is Pokemon something that you guys would consider playing at this stage? This is more, again, looking more at Taylor and Shaun, because I know Tyler, I know both of us are going to play it. We both love geek shit. It's just one of those things. I'm sorry,
I didn't know you actually liked Pokemon that much, Janet. I feel like I should have known.
I mean, like, I'm not, like, clearly I didn't know that the other game was called Moon. Like,
Well,
but, like, I'll buy it and I'll play it. But
So
not like I don't know their name.
I've had this problem since, I guess, Pokemon... Oh, gosh, what was it? Whatever the first one for DS was.
Pearl?
Yep. I think so.
Yeah.
Or Soul Silver, but I don't think you...
Whatever the Precious Stones one was, Janet's right.
Right.
I loved Pokemon growing up. I really enjoyed it because it was a game that you could kind of, like, pull out of your pocket and play when you had a few minutes to kill in between things. But I never bought a DS, and then I never bought a 3DS. And so now, I don't want to buy a $150 portable gaming system just to play one game. Like, I would totally play Pokemon if I could play it on my phone or my iPad, because it's a great time killer, but I'm not going to spend $200 to play Pokemon.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely fair. I mean, and, well, they're coming out with Pokemon Go. Do you know when that's
and
coming
I'm
out?
super pumped about Pokemon Go.
So I think that'd be interesting to see if maybe if they'll take a step into more phone-based gaming or not DS specific, which would be awesome. Because no, I think what you said is a really good point, that the people who grew up with Pokemon are now at a stage where they're not going to spend under $50 on one gaming system so they can play one game. I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense financially. If I didn't already own a 3DS, I would definitely be in the same boat you're in. All right, what about you, Shaun? Are you hyped about this?
I don't know if hype's the right word. I'm not really into this scene, so I don't want to rag on it either. Like
No, it's okay.
I'm glad
It's
that you
okay.
guys like it, because that's cool. Like, I respect that.
I like that. Yeah, it's cool that you guys like it.
Sean's not quite old man yells at clouds. He's just...
He's like old man mumbles at clouds.
No,
They
old
would
man
just get
mumbles
out
at clouds
above
is like
my
a different
lawn.
level. That's like
Okay, no, that's
old
fair.
man wanders around subway station.
Oh,
Is the same
okay.
old man that like mumbles at clouds.
I feel like old man who wanders around subway station is probably a serial killer. Like, just
Exactly.
one of those things. Okay, well, that's fair. All right, so Sean's out. That's cool. It's heartbreaking, but I'll get over it.
I mean, Taylor, to be fair, also said he was out, but...
Yeah,
I
but he
don't
said
know
it in
how
a
to
lot
do it.
nicer
iPhone
way.
version.
In a super nice way, so.
I don't think Sean said it in a mean way, though. He just said that he's...
I know, I'm just ragging on Sean.
We
I'm
had a
sorry, buddy.
short-lived podcast where it was called Sean Doesn't Play Video Games. I don't feel like that's...
I forgot about that. You see, you
I don't
guys don't have me on the show for 2 months, and this is what happens. I just come in like a wrecking ball, just fuck some shit up, make fun of Sean, and then I leave. But, alright, well, even though you guys wouldn't play it, let's say we live in a world where all of a sudden Pokemon are real, it's not weird, we're like okay with it, we're not like, holy shit, what's this gremlin? Which one would you pick? Seeing what you've seen, knowing what you know. Even if it's just based off of appearances, I don't care.
Of the new starter ones?
Yeah, of the 3 new starters that just got released, of the seal, the cat, the owl, which one would you pick just purely based off of what you've seen? That you would want living in your house. I feel like I should specify that.
You should absolutely specify that, because it's different if they're living in the Pokeball and you just carry them around and then you fight other ones with it. But if you have to like live with this thing as your pet, totally going with the fire cat.
Why? It's gonna burn your house down.
You don't know that. Why
Yeah,
is
but
it
It's
it
a
do
looks-
that?
cat. And
It looks
breathes
fucking sweet.
fire.
Okay? It looks fucking sweet.
Like, take how destructive a cat is, like a normal fucking cat, and then just give it the ability to create fire with it. You know what? No,
I think you're being too
Respect-
rational with this. This is Pokemon. You don't have to be rational. This is a society that's entirely built on allowing children to make animals fight for money.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
He's not wrong. And I don't know... Listen, it's not like this cat is, like... There's literally a slug made out of molten lava, and you're like, oh, I don't know about this cat that's not even on fire. It's gonna, like, destroy your house. Like, no, that is going to destroy your house.
Well, it's because anyone who picks, you see, I don't even know all of their names. I'm just like, Magma Slug is an idiot. It's just one of
That's,
those
like,
things.
halfway there. You are...
I'm just saying. All right, fine. You know what? No judgment. No judgment. Even
Slug
though you're
bug.
wrong, no judgment.
Yeah, fuck you too.
All right, Tyler, are you going with the Fire Cat too?
I mean, if we're... I mean, you're, like, saying, like, as, like, a pet, I'm not even considering that. That's whatever. I'm gonna be a real-life Pokemon trainer, and
Alright.
of course I'm still gonna go with the owl, because grass types for life, except for the snake. Fuck that guy.
Do you have like a personal vendetta against the snake?
Well, I just don't... Well,
Don't
if you know, Superior, like, it starts off as Snivy as, like, a lizard with, like, legs and arms,
Yeah.
and then, like, it evolves again, and it's kind of, like, a little bit longer, but still, like, has legs and arms, and then it evolves into Superior, and it's just like, my legs are gone, my arms and legs are gone, like, where did they go?
I'm
You're
just
like,
saying,
what
like-
happened?
Legless lizards evolved from lizards with legs to lizards with no legs, so maybe they were just going hardcore about it. I'm sorry, Sean. I had to share this knowledge with the world.
If you could manage it, Sean, can you please just give us...
I didn't ask for this either. I just want you to know that. I didn't ask to know the difference, but...
Describe a shape, and we'll interpret it as which Pokemon you prefer.
Oh, no, I know which one I want.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, I want the seal one.
There we go.
Really?
Why? Why?
Yeah.
Is there like a reason or?
It's cute. If I had to have it around all the time, I mean, I'm worried about my house burning down, and I like owls, but having one around me all the time, it's too Harry Potter-esque.
That's fair.
It'd be cool to have a sea lion. You go on the internet, you see people of like cute little sea lions. They're like coming up to people. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's a cute little sea lion." Oh, that's fun.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. What if we're talking trainer world now, not as a pet, as a fighting machine?
Still the fire cat.
No,
Fire
I'm
cat all the
still
way.
I'm still going with sea lion, and we're not fighting. We're friends.
It's the same either way.
Tyler, are you still going with the owl?
Yes. Rowlet
Alright.
is number one.
That's
Okay,
fair.
here's what. Anybody comes near my awesome sea lion, it's just going to take its tail and just slap you right across the face, and you're done.
He actually would blow some bubbles at them. That's actually his specialty, is that he's a bubble boy. He really
Well, good. He
likes
doesn't even need
bubbles.
to get close to you. He'll just blow a bubble on you, and you'll float away into the sky.
There you go.
You'll fall to your death.
That's some like Wizard of Oz
okay.
shit right there.
I always
Right.
wondered though with Pokemon with bubble, like are they like acid bubbles? Like why do they do that much damage? Like
They're
I'm always
aggressive
like,
bubbles.
yeah, they'll hurt when they pop. It's a
They're
little-
aggressively bubbling. They're shooting them at fast speeds.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like I feel like acid bubble would be significantly cooler.
Well, then it would be a poison move now, wouldn't it?
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just putting logic into the situation. No, that's my problem. All right.
That is your problem. That is exactly your problem.
I think, all right. Changing gears, if I were to pick one, sorry, Tyler,
Yeah,
what were you
you
going
gotta,
to say?
you gotta choose your own. No, it's okay.
Okay, if I had to choose one, because I see pros and cons for all of them, I think I would go with the seal too. Because I feel bad for him. Everyone on the internet's ragging on him. But the owl, depending on, because I want to see their evolutions first before, like, you know. So, like, if the owl, like, I saw this one post on Twitter where somebody was predicting that the owl is just going to develop into, like, a Machamp, but with the owl's head. Yeah. Like, if he turned into that, I'd be like, all right.
God, that's my dream that they just fucking do it one of these days. I want it so bad. They're just like, whatever. This cute little thing's just gonna be like,
I feel
Get
like
anxious.
Pokemon is at that point where they're younger consumer, like they're making things really cute for all the kiddos. Cause like I don't remember Pokemon being all that cute. Like now it's like, oh look at this. Like, granted, I said I would pick the sea lion, but like, come on, come on. Like it's like, look at me, I'm really cute. Like, let me bop your nose. Ha ha ha. I feel like fucking like when Pokemon came out when we were young, it was like, here's a fucking bug with fucking scissor blades on its fucking arms and it's going to cut your head off. Like, I just feel like Pokemon
Yeah,
is
I
very
think they
cute
were
now.
scarier in the beginning.
Yeah,
Like fire-breathing dragons and
yeah.
turtles with like bazookas on their backs.
Here's
and-
like a weird pinecone looking thing with two huge horns that move. Like, I feel like we're at a point where like the younger generation like wants the cute, and the older generation, aka like us, like our generation, we're just like, just fuck me up, make it weird, put a
Ju-
huge,
Don't say it that way.
yeah, okay, I didn't mean it that way.
It sounds like you meant it that way.
No, all right, okay.
Is the owl wearing a bra?
Okay, I saw another meme about that. Nobody knows if it's a bow tie or a bra. It could be one or it could be both. I like to think it's a bra.
Yeah, I kind of hope so too.
why?
Why? Because
Like, I hope. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
because I don't know. This is gonna sound very strange, but it always seemed to me like a lot more of the Pokemon were like drawn in a way to make them look masculine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like there were girly Pokemon, but they were always like the girly Pokemon that were there because they needed a few girly ones.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to have like a more obviously feminine Pokemon.
All right. This is what I hope happens with the owl. It starts off cute little owl, and then it evolves, and it's the same owl's face, but it's like sexy, like body with the bra, and then it evolves into huge, like buff dude with the same face. All three have the same face. That's what I hope happens. God, Pokemon, please get on this. I will pay money good money to see that. That's what I'm hoping. Tyler, what are you laughing at?
You.
Oh, well, I'm glad. Also, Mega
Buff.
is fucking terrifying.
Right? You're like, oh, they make nice Pokemon all the time, but no, they made Mega Pinsir in 2014.
Yeah, I'm just saying they made like 3 scary looking Pokemon, and the other one is like, oh, here's a fucking trash.
I mean,
bag.
what are you saying? Like, are you saying Gengar's scary? Listen, we're not having that discussion. We're not talking about the inanimate object Pokemon. All right, we're
What?
not. This is about
No,
New
I'm
Boys.
talking about that one Pokemon in the last game who was a fucking garbage bag.
I
Like a
know.
bag of
We're
trash.
not having that conversation, Janet. We're not having that what is art conversation, okay? We're not doing it.
What is art? Don't critique me. No more.
Not like that.
I don't have an ounce of creativity in my body, so
It's fine.
I'm literally useless in that conversation.
Anyway, but really what it should be about the cat growing Buff Boy arms, because they've made fire fighting types for like 3 generations in a row, so they should just do it again.
I really hope your cat evolves into like a flaming litter box.
That'd be sweet.
I was hoping more for like fire-breathing puma, but
No.
whatever.
I hope it's a flaming litter box, and then the third evolution is it's the same litter box, but there's a turd in it this time.
I'm so
fine,
glad I
think
invited
I'm
you on
funny.
this podcast to hate on me and my Pokemon choices. Thanks so much for being here.
Whatever, I'm funny. I mean,
Is that what that is?
yeah, I think so.
I think it's funny that Taylor rails on cats all the time. When I ask him, like, what would you rather have? He's like, not a cat. I don't like cats. The first thing he picks is the fiery hairball spewing cat.
Yeah. Because if it vomits, if it's got a fur ball, it's not going to be, it's going to be on fire. And then you'll come over, I'll be living next door, and you'll knock on my door and say, hey, can I borrow your seal? And I'll say no. Taylor, your face. That was it. That was the face. Yep. Aren't you glad you had me on? I'm glad I'm here.
Yes.
Thank
Very
you,
good.
Tyler. Taylor's regretting a lot right now.
Our second topic this week comes from Shaun, and it's the next installment in Race to the Bottom 2016. Shaun, how'd the bracket do this week?
Well, the bracket's kind of done. I guess we can get into that real quick before we go on the topic. But if you're familiar with, it was like almost a year ago that first came out. I made this bracket of Republican candidates that I thought was gonna, how it was gonna all go down. And for like 24 hours, I thought I was like in the clear. It was gonna be great because it was just Trump and Kasich, and I had Kasich going all the way to be the nominee. And then my dreams got dashed when Kasich outed and went back to Ohio, and it was just left with Trump. And I was like, contested convention, Trump's going third party. And nothing happened. So, I was close, but no winner. So this week, in, like Taylor said, our reoccurring segment, this is number 2 of Race to the Bottom 2016, I've titled this The Dawning of Time. Because now we know that Donald Trump is going to be there. He's going to be presumptively the nominee for the Republicans. Who knows? We still have a long way to go, but we'll just have to see. So this week, I want to talk about another podcast to do our podception that we usually do as well. This is David Axelrod, who was a campaign consultant for Barack Obama and worked in as part of his White House cabinet for a while. So David Axelrod's podcast, The Axe Files, produced on CNN, because clearly it has to be done by CNN to have such a cruddy name.
For real.
Right. He invites Jon Stewart on this week to talk about the election. It's a pretty long podcast. It's probably 45 minutes. I sent the whole one. I sent a clip of one that's about 10 minutes where it mainly focuses on Donald Trump.
But John kind of, because he plays this, he's really good at playing this third rail where he's like anti 24-hour news cycle, and he's kind of portrays himself as a Washington outsider who can see corruption in government. He kind of leads David on these, he has like interesting insights, new insights that aren't always said all the time, where everybody is responsible for how we got to this place. So I want to talk about that. So I sent out a little clip. I have the whole one. We'll post it on the show notes. You can check it out too. Don't feel like you have to watch the whole one. You can watch the clip one. You've probably seen it. It was on Facebook all over my feed this week. So that's why I thought we should talk about it. Jon Stewart kind of blames the media a lot, like the 24-hour news cycle, for the rise of Trump. I saw something on NPR this week that was talking about how, like, of the 17 candidates that are running for Republican office, like 70% of the airtime, even a little bit higher, was devoted to Donald Trump. And John kind of said, like, he thinks the media is responsible for this. What do you guys think? You think it's just the media that's responsible for Donald Trump?
I mean, I think there's... Sorry, Taylor, did you want to talk?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, I think there's a lot of different... I think the media cycle definitely helped, because I 100% agree. There was even just, like, watching... like whenever they made like press stuff or whenever they gave speeches, any other candidate, they would cut him off after like maybe like 5 minutes. But with Trump, they would play most, if not all, which was just what I noticed because I was like, oh, damn, he's been on for a while. So I wouldn't say that's the only reason, but definitely 100% believe that if he didn't get as much media coverage, I don't think he would be where he is now. And the other half is just that there are, I don't know, people who really want to see Donald Trump in power, which I will leave that interpretation vague, and yeah, but no, 100% agree that, that the media had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, Janet basically said exactly what I was going to say. The media had a lot to do with it. I think Trump supporters obviously can't be written out of the picture. There are a lot of people who are very unhappy with the current state of politics, and their proposed solution is Donald Trump. How valid that is, I will leave up to the listeners, but I think the media has been largely responsible for making sure that all of those people hear that Donald Trump is an option.
Any thoughts on this, Tyler? I know that you're kind of like disconnected from a lot of this, but...
Yes and no. I mean, I've definitely... Well, as it's gotten easier, as more people have kind of been eliminated from the running, it's kind of gotten really easier to kind of figure out kind of like what's going on. But I mean, it feels it's a lot like kind of like how people that are on the radio, like music that's on the radio, a lot of people like because it's on the radio, and it's like if you listen to a lot, you either really like it or it feels almost the same way. That's like Donald Trump is almost like the Justin Bieber of this election cycle, because like everyone hates him, but we keep talking about him, like him or hate him. Clearly there's someone somewhere is doing something right. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like.
I mean, that's a really valid point, that he really is everywhere right now. And Jon Stewart made that point in the interview, that it's kind of impressive, like, how well Trump has blanketed the culture over the past couple of months. I mean, everywhere you go, people are talking about Trump. Even on podcasts completely unrelated to the election, or on TV shows completely unrelated, you hear people saying that. Like, Drake said in his SNL monologue this week, "You can't move in with me if Trump becomes president." It's gotten to that level. We're all just like so saturated with Trump right now. It's very weird.
Weird is a good way to put this current election cycle. I'm a little bit bummed that this is my first election ever.
Do you feel like you've been cheated?
I don't know if I'd say cheated. I just feel like this is going to be the thing that, like, if I have human children later on in life, they're going to be like, yo, what the fuck? And I want to be like, I don't know. Like, it's weird.
So I guess I kind of want to, like, steer this question in another direction, too. So, like, clearly he's been getting a lot of media coverage. But a lot of the time when I listen to people talk about the rise of Trump, it's not so much just that he's getting coverage. It's that the media, the culture of media today has produced candidates like that, or has legitimized candidates like this, that like reality stars are seen as viable options for presidents because they're dramatic and drama sells news, and that if you have a good sound bite, that you can do whatever you want with it. It's not so much that they're saying like, you know, like clearly they're giving him coverage. The election is receiving a lot, but it's that we live in this, I don't know what you would call it.
A reality TV bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like since he was on reality TV, he was on, you know, he's always done things that weren't politics, and it's always been very publicized that he's been doing things other than politics. I feel like, you know, the whole thing you're saying about how reality TV is dramatic, drama sells news, I think that's also helping, because then on top of that, you see people who are like, oh, look, he's just like me, even though he's not, because he's really freaking rich and none of us are. But I just feel like it helps with the average Joe Schmo who has been unhappy with politics, who is undereducated, who may feel like those in Washington, D.C. aren't necessarily catering to his needs. I could see how the media playing up Donald Trump and all the crazy stuff he's been doing would make those kinds of folks more interested in voting for him, because he's just like us.
Well, and John brings up a really good point that the current Republican Party has done a really good job of making government seem like it has done nothing, which makes it easier to elect more Republicans who say, well, we have too much government and they're not doing anything and we should just do away with them if they're not going to do anything. And it's like this cyclical argument. It's interesting that Trump is kind of being pitched as the person to break that cycle when he's provided no firm policy positions and basically no actual platform during this election cycle.
The wall.
Yeah, the wall is his only solid platform item, and even that is tenuous because he hasn't proposed any actual, like, tenable way to fund said wall.
Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico's going to pay for it, except
Mexico's
not
going to
really.
pay for it.
You see how easy it is for you to answer that question? You can literally answer it with one word, one or two words. Like, what is he going to do?
For the undereducated.
How's he going to pay for it? Mexico. Like,
yeah. No,
But
I
what
gotta
if
say, he did a
we just-
phenomenal job branding. Sorry, Tyler, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, like, I do have to say, although I am not a Trump supporter, I am very impressed by his business model. I mean, that's really all it is. Like, answer everything in one or two words, get the crowd hyped up, something they can chant.
I mean,
chanting is
from
very
like-
important.
the general, like, kind of, like, vibe anyway is that, like, the president is really more of just, like, a figurehead. And that's kind of like, I mean, obviously they do a lot of things, but it's like, a lot of it is like looking good and like being like a leader and like kind of like giving a good like image to the world. Obviously that's a gross under examination, but he's kind of like the guy that you look at like when you see a country. So it's like, to be fair, he does do a really good job of being an entertaining person. Like, as terrible as it is.
No,
I mean,
it's just, do we really want... You know Donald Trump's going to be that guy. He's going to, like, show up at some fancy, like, gala with the king of God knows where. And you know he's going to be that guy who gets way too drunk and, like, throws his drink on, like, the prime minister of, like, Jordan. No, never mind. They have a king and queen. But, like, you know, the leaders of, like, all these nations. And he's like, fuck you, we're going to nuke you. And then... I mean, I guess that would be kind of entertaining.
So since we talked about the media and how they kind of propelled him to this place, John kind of talked about one particular thing that kind of, as we all know, I really love nostalgia. And I want to talk about this because it was an interesting point, because we talked about PC on the show before and different stuff. So there's a clip on the whole interview from about 12:48 to 15:20 where John talks about how Donald Trump kind of exploits this political correctness, right? Because everybody's seen the videos of his rallies, where there's, you know, a protester who's there and they're yelling something, Black Lives Matter, or, you know, anything. I feel like Black Lives Matter is what you hear about the most. And then Trump's protesters always yelling something back at them, and they're getting in like confrontations and thrown out or whatever else. And John kind of says that Donald Trump plays up this madman, he calls it madman nostalgia, kind of political correctness, where it's like you cannot speak bad about the good days, the good old days when America was a great country. That this is a sacred time, and to talk ill of that is just wrong. But he doesn't seem to care about any of the modern problems that we have.
Yeah, this was the section of the interview that I actually was most interested in. That and the discussion of bureaucracy, but it was really kind of an interesting read of Trump's campaign to say, like, make America great again. Well, but when was it actually great? Like, please explain to me what was so great about this nebulous time period from 1945 to sometime in the 60s that we're calling the greatest generation or whatever. Like, he brings up a really good point, and I feel like if you tried to ask a Trump supporter, when was America great the first time, they would have a really hard time pinning down when that was and why that was. And I think that's kind of Trump's whole point, and really what Jon Stewart is, like, biting into there.
No, I feel like they wouldn't know. I don't think they would be able to pinpoint it either. I think there's like there's some ideal in their heads that they're thinking about when you say, like, America, there was a time when it was great. Clearly this is not the time anymore. But it could be again. But I don't think there's a hard and fast date. Like, I don't think that it starts at a particular place. That's just what's weird. That's why I thought about this a lot. This particular clip stuck with me.
No, it's just, as a half Japanese woman, I mean, I don't see a lot of racism thrown my way. I do occasionally. And most of it is not harmless, but uninformed. So, of course, I cannot comment on African Americans, how they feel, how anything like that. But as a woman who does identify as at least partially non-white, when I hear the word, whenever I hear people complain about PC, I usually take that as it's no longer benefiting me, a white person. And of course, I would like to specify I am part white. I do benefit a lot. I benefit from the way I look. I benefit from all of that. I'm not denying any of that. I enjoy a lot of white privilege. So to me, when people talk about make America great again, the first thing I think of is back when it was very clearly lines. You're white, you're not white. You're straight, you're not straight.
When every single Asian-looking person was deported to the West Coast.
Yeah. To me, when I hear make America great again, that's personally what I think they're going after. It's back when you didn't have to be PC, aka back when minority groups of any kind were offended, nobody needed to care. Yeah, like the 60s were great if you weren't black. Like the 40s were great if you weren't gay. Like it, like that's kind of just what I hear when I hear make America great again. Cause let's be real, ever since fuckboy Columbus sailed over here by mistake, we've done a lot of bad things. Like, we as white European settlers did a lot of bad things, like the Indians, slavery.
Now, Janet, you're half Canadian, so you have no blood on your hands. You're fine.
I don't think that's true.
Pretty sure fuckboy Columbus made his way up too. But I'm just saying, like, we as a nation have a lot of blood on our hands, and to me, like, I feel like we're finally starting to become great. Obviously, there's a lot of issues, but in terms of acceptance of people, we're finally, I believe, taking a step in the right direction. So when people are like, oh, I wish it was the 50s, I'm like, why? 50s were a pretty shitty time. Like, if you want to drink a milkshake and wear a poodle skirt, you can do that now in 2016. Like, you don't need to go back to 1950 and bring back all of the racism, bring back all of just the bullshit from the 50s.
Question. So
Okay.
So clearly, see, this is what I really thought this was interesting, because for a long time I always thought that when someone says like PC, it's always the insult from somebody who seems to be on the right side towards the left side. Like, oh, you're just sensitive. You need trigger warnings and everything. But I liked what John said because he's kind of saying, well, he is saying, it's exactly the opposite. Because every time that you try and make a critique on anything, oh, you can't say that. That's not how it was. That's not right. And I thought, like, wow, actually, man, Fox News might be one of the most PC places on earth. Like, that's straight up PC coming off the airwaves every single day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
You can't change that. You can't say that was different than how it was because that's how we remember it. And the memory is what's the most important part, especially the good one.
Yeah, well, I remember high school being a lot different from what it was, and my grades prove it, because I remember being a superstar, and my grades show that I was not, so sometimes memories can be wrong.
Yeah, you were too busy dressing up as Snooki to study for Spanish.
Honestly, yes. But, no, that's actually a really fair point. I never thought about that, and I didn't have time to watch the video because a certain someone, Taylor, didn't send me the video until 10 minutes before we went on, so I'm just saying.
So our third topic this week comes from Tyler. Mr. Reed, what did you find, and what is up with this YouTube video you made me watch?
All right, well, I wanted to talk about Pokemon, but Janet took it from me, so... I also want to talk about Civil War, but we don't watch movies here, so...
Wait, I just watched that.
Well,
hey, I did too.
Sean and I haven't seen it, so...
Alright,
sorry.
You're probably not going to see it.
Ew.
It's already been a week. Too late. Alright, spoiler time. Captain America dies. Just kidding. It's his movie. But-
That's it. The end.
He's like, hey! No! And then Iron Man shoots him in the face.
Yeah.
Movie's over in 10 minutes. Alright. So this week, we're talking about Cat Island, also known as...
Tashirojima. Sorry, I scrolled up over it. It's Tashirojima. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Which is a small island in Japan that the cat population severely outnumbers the human population, and they were brought there to deal with like a rat problem, and so over time they just kept breeding, and now it's like this tourist attraction. And so what I did was I found a new Asian tour YouTube channel to watch called Charlotte Japan. As you know, a few episodes ago, we watched Solo Travel Blog, which I still highly recommend. Very good Asian themed travel channel. But, so Charlotte Japan, she took a trip to the Cat Island and had her general opinions about it. Pretty fun. Ate some food. Pet some cats, whatever. Alright, so, of you that have watched this video, which is like 2 of you, did you prefer this more vlog style video as opposed to Solo Travel Blog, who was like record like commentary over like his footage?
I love vlog style video. I've recently gotten back into it. I started watching Casey Neistat recently. That's been a lot of fun. I didn't think her personality was strong enough to justify a direct-to-camera vlog video.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's talking into the camera, but she's not really dynamic or interesting. She's just kind of like, oh, well, now we're going to this place, and then we're going to that place, and like, I don't know, I just wanted her to be a little more excited.
Well, Sean, what'd you think?
Can I say they were both uninteresting? Is that an acceptable response?
That's fine. Well, now that we've watched
if you want to make a slideshow and show it to your friends, just do it in your house. Don't put it on YouTube.
Damn! God. You know, someone's gonna comment and say the exact same fucking thing about this podcast.
Well, okay, so with that being said, I would also agree that solo travel blog has a little bit more personality in regards to like, at least it's like something different. It's not just like someone just like kind of like straight talking. So I definitely still prefer solo travel blog, even though he's weird and he talks weird. But that's sort of like the charm is that it's a little.
He did the food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, at least his was interesting.
There you go.
I like food. I like food. I can watch food.
Fucking salt, man.
Shaun did not like it. All right, well that's fine. I just wanted to see if the variety.
I like cats. I just watching someone walk around an island and talk cutesy to cats isn't that interesting to me.
Although she did do her part, and she's like, "Don't bring dry cat food as much. You should probably bring some wet food because they're gonna get dehydrated."
Yeah, that seemed gratuitous to me. I was like, I really don't give a shit about this.
Oh, well, it's very important.
Yeah,
Cats dehydrate very quickly.
Those cats are dehydrated now. So.
Yeah. Hope you like buttholes. You're going to be seeing a lot of them.
All right, so that being said, I guess we can just kind of do a general roundtable discussion about.
I mean, I've seen it and I know what Cat Island is.
Cat Island.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're just going to have just a good old-fashioned roundtable discussion of if we want to either visit Cat Island or we want to live at Cat Island or neither of those.
Fuck no.
Hell fucking no.
Okay, Mr. Firecat from earlier, you can't. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, fuck Cat Island. Fuck Cat Island.
That place looks awful.
Because you're a dog person, right?
Because I'm a dog person, and also because those are feral cats. It's hundreds of feral cats. Like, I can deal with people's house cats. Like, I go over to people's houses, they have cats. It's fine. The cats are kind of cute. I'll play with them if they want to play. Over, like, 300 feral cats just wandering around an island? That sounds awful. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, there's, like, no way to contain them. You know they're breaking into your house, probably taking a shit somewhere. Like... Plus, I'm also allergic, which, like, is a big reason, like, you know, I don't want to go there and die. But even if I wasn't allergic, like, I had one cat. One cat. Not, like, that times 300 is honestly, like, nightmare fuel for me. Like, fuck that. There's a reason Japanese people don't fucking talk about this island. Fuck no.
Wait, Japanese people don't talk about this island?
No, the only reason I know about it is because... like, Americans are always like, oh, it's an island full of cats. No offense, but it's like, oh, island full of cats. And I'm like, oh, shit. Wow, that sounds like literal hell. Like, could you imagine, like, one litter box smells so bad times 300 cats?
And what happens when those cats go into heat?
What happens when those cats die?
They're
on an island.
They're on an
island. Did they just throw them into the ocean? I don't fucking know. Japan's kind of weird. And, like, you know the other residents of Cat Island are fucking batshit crazy. They're all, like, the crazy, like, fucking... Never mind. I was about to, like, throw out, like, a generic name, except all I could think of was literally the crazy cat lady living on this goddamn island, just petting cats, letting them shit everywhere. One dies, they don't even know.
I'm just trying to think of an American equivalent, and the only thing I come up with was Florida. Like, go see snakes. Like, it's a whole state that's just chock full of snakes. Snakes and alligators.
And old people.
And old people. A triple whammy.
And old people. You just look at the old people walk around at the beach.
But, yeah, no,
they
sorry.
They probably make close to cat sounds. Janet, you don't have to like anything. You could come on the show and be like, fuck this, fuck this.
Yeah,
fuck
I'm
this.
pretty sure I'm just angry all the time, though. But
it doesn't matter. It's fine.
You don't have to be like, oh, I don't like thing.
Look, I'm Canadian. I apologize for everything. I'm pretty sure I could, like, punch someone in the face and be like, oh, I'm sorry about that, man. That was my fault.
That's true. I forgot Canadian stereotypes. I forgot.
That is one stereotype that is true. I do apologize a lot.
You'd probably buy them a donut, too.
Yep. No, I love donuts. I would not give that away for free. I would let them buy me a donut. Preferably from Tim Hortons.
Alright, so I got it. Alright, so no one fucking wants to go to Cat Island.
No,
okay, I got
fuck Cat Island.
You want to go to Cat Island?
I kind of do, actually, yeah.
Why?
Just because it
I
sounds
hope
like
a
an
cat
experience.
shits on
There's a lot
your
of
foot
cats.
when you visit Cat Island.
There's a lot of them. They're cute. But, okay, so...
So when you want to escape from the cats, you have to wait for the ferry, which I'm sure only comes like twice a day.
Shit, I didn't even think about that, and then you gotta
Yeah,
stand
you're
around
trapped.
all those
You're
fucking cats
trapped.
forever.
And then you're like running for the ferry, but it takes off and you have to spend a night on Cat Island. And all
Just get in the
cats,
water. They're not getting in there.
they've evolved.
Okay, alright, so I got it. Okay, we obviously we hate Cat Island universally.
Very
Okay,
anti-
alright, so here's the strategy then. Alright. This is always the surefire way to make a Dude's Brunch topic interesting again. Alright, so, as we saw in the video, there was like one like local restaurant and it's just some lady's house. She's just like, hey, I guess you could like use my bathroom and eat some food and you can like give me some money. How can we make Cat Island sexy? What can we do to make it a tourist spot to go to?
You can't.
You know,
What if there's like a glass wall? Like, what if it's like Jurassic Park and it's like there's like an electric fence?
No.
you dress the old lady up with cat ears.
Have you
And then
have you
say
seen?
Cat Girl
Okay,
Island.
this is a question in general. Have you guys seen feral cats out on the street?
Yeah, they're
Like,
gross.
that's what I mean. They're like real animals. Like
No,
when I
they're
was watching that video, and there was like this one cat that had like, you could see where it had gotten. It was in the sun too much, and it was like kind of burnt hair off its ears. You know, like cats they get sunburnt and stuff when they're out in the sun. I was thinking like, I feel bad for these cats. Like I would never want to see my cat like that.
The other day, I was sleeping with the window open, and I got woken up because the local cat gangs decided to fight over the dumpster behind my house.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking
That's
feral
the
cats.
reality all the time.
Yeah.
Cat gang?
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
assumed. Because
Yeah.
there were like 6 cats, and they were all just fighting.
Have
and
you,
all you heard is,
have you never like woken up like 2 a.m. and heard 2 cats just like going at it in an alley?
Nope.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is like the most annoying thing. It literally, one night it happened when I was living in Akron. I wanted to go get a boot and chuck it out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and I spent a couple weeks in India last year, and over there, dogs are feral.
Oh.
And, I mean, it's just as bad, if not worse, because dogs are bigger.
Yeah, I would much rather take feral cats over feral dogs.
Well, the thing about feral dogs is that they don't really, like, they all kind of congregate around food sources.
Yeah.
And so as long as you don't, like, leave trash out, they don't really get in the way.
God bless the good old US of A.
But yeah, I mean, we don't have feral cats or dogs or really generally a whole lot of feral animals here. Intentionally sending people, particularly Americans, to a place just to see feral animals, I don't think
Just
anybody
go to
would
the
ever do
zoo.
that. Yeah, just go to a zoo. Or go on safari.
Yeah, just go to a mall. There's feral animals everywhere there. They're
Yeah.
called humans.
Dark and depressing as always, right on brand.
I do have a question, though, for the group once Tyler's all done about this topic, but...
So a mini ball. So that's what we need. We need a cat mini mall on Cat Island.
Tyler, you're trying too hard. You're never going to make Cat Island sexy.
What if we could get in a ball on Cat Island so the cats would stay away, but we could walk around in it? Oh no, because then poop would get on the ball and you'd have to look at it every
it's
time you
just
walk. No,
poop
just kidding.
smeared.
Throw that
That's
away.
also
That-
like Jurassic World. It's like that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
No, I don't like it.
I still think we should go with the cat girls approach. Put cat ears on everyone.
So basically, you just recreated the Playboy Mansion, but with cats?
Yes.
Oh,
and
that's
there are...
the money. That's the money.
Well, now that
And on
we've
that note...
gotten into a creepy part of Tyler's psyche,
Here on Putty Island.
Janet, did you have a question?
I did have a question for the group because I was thinking about this, but I don't want to steal Tyler's thunder.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Clearly, it's another disaster. It's fine.
So, Cat Island is obviously out, but if you could choose an island filled, like, you know, dedicated to one thing, what would you pick?
Does it have to be an animal?
I mean, it depends. What are you trying to pick?
I was just
Has to be
curious. I hadn't really thought of an answer yet, but I was curious.
I guess animal, but if you think of something like else, I'm willing to hear it.
Mm.
But primarily animal.
I mean,
I was gonna-
anytime you're
if
like
I would want to
bring
non-animals, I'm
too many
going.
animals together, it's always going to be a problem.
Release 1,000,000 bees. It would be awful.
Non-animals, I'm just gonna say beanbags.
All right.
Animals, otters.
That'd
Just
be
look at
fun.
them. They're adorable.
Yeah.
But
But then they...
let's not get
But you're on an island, so
They-
they're going to
they need-
escape.
they nasty.
Why are they nasty?
Because otters are mean. They just look nice. We're like water weasels. And weasels aren't nice.
I don't know enough about weasels or otters' personalities to say that for a fact.
But Shaun, they're going to escape from your island. They're just going to go into
Why would you want to go away? It's Otter Island.
Because there's otter shit everywhere.
Well, because they have their families there, and they have like little otter hotels, little otter high rises. They all go to otter school together. They all have little backpacks on. Can you imagine how
Are
adorable
you?
that would be? Little otter
that'd be very
with their little
adorable.
otter hats on. That's adorable. Like I'm like kind of like
Your
melting
otter
right now
headcanon
just
is
thinking
impressive.
about
Yeah.
like
I think I'd like chipmunks on like a barren rockland, so there's absolutely nothing they can like destroy.
Dude, chipmunks are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Actually, no. Let's go with hamsters because they're
they
pretty
eat each other.
harmless.
Look like Cannibal Island.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Hamsters are a no go. That'd be awful. That'd be terrifying. You go in.
See, that's the problem. Is whenever you get too many animals together, they're always going to get really mad. They're going to
Not
like.
true. Not
You're
true.
like, oh, puppies.
Not
You're like,
true.
oh, those dogs are they're gonna group up, and then they're gonna be
No.
like,
No. Otters would build infrastructure and start a viable economy based on clamshells.
I disagree.
It's science.
I know this already exists, but I'm going to go with penguins. Because I think penguins are just fascinating, and they already kind of have like the groupthink thing going on, so it wouldn't be that terrible.
They also have beaks. I thought we were just listing facts.
As far as non-animal things go, I'm going to pick the really insufferable new activist person at that party you went to. They can just all go to the island together and talk about causes and inform each other, and it'll be a completely symbiotic relationship, and they can live off the land and have a super organic diet, and, you know, they'll just be the most informed utopian society ever until they tear themselves apart.
Don't
She
say
didn't
that.
call you. She didn't call you back, did she? Is that why you're upset?
Don't say that because I'm like that person for my friend group, like at work. So I would have to go live on an island with these people. Please add a little asterisk, except Janet. I would like to stay on mainland.
my quick Google has determined that otters aren't necessarily mean to like people more so than any other animal probably would have provoked, but they do like to like bite the females' faces when they fuck, or like face fuck them or something. So they get a little, there. But I mean, let's be honest, all animals are pretty like primal about fucking. So it's like that's fine, whatever. That's
Janet, I hate you
mean-
for making this happen.
I'm just saying, okay, we can't judge otters for biting their faces off during sex, because, like, we lick
They're just-
buttholes and pretend it's, you know. So, like,
Right.
well, I feel like humans are, like, the worst creatures to judge any other species on what they consider sex.
I'm so over this conversation now.
What, you don't like licking booties?
Fuck it, we're done. This
I was
podcast is
having a lovely
over.
time. I thought we were having a lovely time.
Alright, so I've got our fourth topic this week, and I just wanted to talk about something that I've noticed here in Atlanta, and I didn't really notice it until one of my coworkers brought it up to me. So, we all from the office went down to opening day of the Braves season. And I live basically in the center of the city, and the Braves Stadium is down on the south side. So my coworker and I carpooled down to the Midtown MARTA station, which is the Metro Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, and we took MARTA down to the game instead of driving down there, sitting in traffic, and paying expensive ballpark parking. But now that they're moving the Braves Stadium right across the street from our office, there's not going to be any train access to the stadium, and there's not even really good bus access because it's kind of a county away, but not really. And so there's been this whole discussion of, like, how are we going to expand public transit to get people to the Braves? And the Braves have been kind of, like, really ambivalent about it, and, like, we're moving up here because there's more money up here anyway, so people will just drive. But there's not enough parking in the area to put all these people up, and so it's this really strange, convoluted mess of zoning and public transportation, and it's literally right outside my office. And so every single day, basically from now until forever, we're going to have to deal with either construction traffic or baseball game traffic at all times. And so I was just curious for you guys, what's your public transportation system where you live, and how does it impact your daily life?
Oh, well, I live in Columbus, which is a literal shit show of public transportation. We have the COTA system, which is their buses, except they suck, and they will show up just whenever they feel like it. So even if they're early to the bus stop, they're still going to go. So, like, super unreliable, super just awful to ride in, overpriced. There is one bus, which it's called the C bus, because we're Columbus, which is free, which goes around, like, the big, I wouldn't say tourist area, but it goes, like, to the big areas that, like, tourists would go to. So it connects, I think, like, the Brewery District, and it goes down High Street for a little bit. It goes into the German Village, and it's free, and that one is actually pretty, it's used pretty frequently. But the other buses are just a hot mess, and nobody rides them. Like, for instance, when I was a freshman in college, I didn't have a car. So to get to a mall that by driving would have taken me 20 minutes, it took me 2.5 hours one way to get there. And so, like, totally just not worth it. So that's, yeah, I hate Columbus's public transit. I think that if they literally did anything, like, they could honestly put, like, a horse-drawn trolley, and I would be like, yes, a step in the right way. Hell yeah. Because Columbus is just a fucking mess in that regard. So that's Columbus.
Finish out Ohio, Tyler.
Some weeks there is a like electronic meter in a place, and then sometimes it just disappears and it's not there. So parking's fun. It's actually never been, like, for like a few weeks there was like one street that, like, I usually park on that usually is free parking, and they, like, slapped like a machine in there that you had to put, like, a ticket in the front of your car for.
Yeah.
And then it just wasn't there one day. I'm like, oh, it was never turned on in the first place. So what does this mean? But it's probably because there's, like, so many people that live in, like, this square block that it's like, you can't meter everything. You have to let people live here. You can't make a meter at every corner. Like, I understand this is the most popular part of town, but it's also a residential area.
Didn't Cincinnati get that light rail system or something? Or a trolley or something?
Yeah, we're the streetcar. Actually, no, it's an Asian food fest, whatever. It was doing, like, a test run around, and they've been doing tests for a while, and I'm like, what if they just never open it to real people, and it's just like this ghost train that just rides around Cincinnati?
Cincinnati did have a subway system.
Yeah.
No, they tried to build it, and it didn't really take
tunnels
off.
are
Oh, yeah,
still there.
that's what I mean, that they still have, like, the infrastructure from it.
Mm-hmm.
I heard they're tearing all of that down.
I've
Because it's
also
cheaper
heard
to
that.
it's cheaper to destroy it than to, like, do anything with it and to make it, like, a functioning subway. Which, like, come on. I don't know. I'm kind of upset about that. I think a subway
I had
system
so
would
much
be...
time to do something with it, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, and that's the discussion they're having here in Atlanta is as more young people move here, they want to increase the train system, but all the streets are built for not having trains anymore.
Yeah.
And so what are they going to do? Rip the streets up, build underground, build above ground? Like, nobody
Yeah, it's a
knows.
hot mess.
Shaun,
Well,
you
we're not
probably
getting
have the
space
most.
cars anytime soon, so you might as well do something about it instead of just waiting around.
Shaun, you probably have the most access to public transit out of all of us.
Yeah, you lucky son of a dog.
How's that going?
It's definitely been a crash course since moving into DC. It's not that I don't have a car, but so I forget who it was. It was Hidden Brain podcast I was listening to. They were talking about driving, and they were talking about all these studies and how they eliminated driving and stuff like that. And they said like, oh, increasing roads increases congestion, blah blah blah. There's no solutions. But I think I know how DC has managed to make the transit system super functional. It's not expensive to drive here. It is expensive to park here. Really expensive to park here. And it's really cost inefficient to park. So let me give you an example. I live about 1.5 miles from the nearest train station, right? And if I drive to the train station 1.5 miles away, it costs me $4.60 to park there in a garage all day, which doesn't seem like much, right? Doesn't seem $4.60. That's pretty good. If you went to a baseball game, paid $4.60 to park, you'd be thinking you got a deal. So, but the thing is that the parking garage is relatively small. There's only about maybe 400 slots there for a huge part of town. And if I rode the bus to the train, it would cost me $3 to ride the bus. So that's how they do it. Like, that's how DC has done it, is that they make it more cost effective for you to ride public transit than to go somewhere and park. Because you have to park, you have to pay when you go to the mall, you have to pay when you go get groceries, you have to pay when you go blah, blah, blah. And it's like Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, everywhere you go, you know you're going to have to pay for it there when you park. It's not going to be free unless you park in the residential neighborhood. But even on the western side of DC, you have to get a city pass to park on the street.
And that's something that was in the book Suburban Nation that I sent you, was America in particular, out of all the Western nations, has made parking basically a free good up until very recently. And we just can't afford to do that anymore. Like, there's not enough space. It's astounding to me how many cars are in Atlanta. Mm. When you see like aerial photos of rush hour, it's just amazing. And you think, like, where do all of these cars go? Because they're not all on the road all day. So yeah, I would much rather we have like citywide parking passes and that money go into the MARTA system than, you know, this hodgepodge of like my neighborhood is enforced by a separate agency because we have neighborhood passes and they report to the city, and then like certain other neighborhoods report directly to the city, and there's just all this mess.
So, but I think, okay, so in terms of like using public transit in DC, it's really accessible. The buses are super quick. They're generally on time. If anything, they're probably a couple minutes late, which is okay. I mean, not ideally, but that's fine. So if national news has been really popular with our subway system lately, and there's been a lot of problems. They basically said like 2 weeks ago that they're going to undergo a year-long rehabilitation of the train system in DC, and the year-long 24/7 work is going to get us to where we should have been today. So that's how far behind we are. And you can but when I go on the train and when I go to the stations, you can see where they've already started doing work. Like when they close at night, they have crews of people going in there, and they're ready to get this done because so many people rely on it. But I don't know. There's weird politics going on with it too, because they build another line recently here in DC that goes out into Northern Virginia, and to get to the end of this line, it's literally the country. Like, you have to drive. We drove out past there one day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is where the Silver Line ends." Nobody lives out there. It just like ends in a business park in the middle of the woods, almost.
That's terrifying.
Right, and it's going to cost you like so much money to go out there too. Like it's not going to be cheap for you to ride into the city on that subway
until the suburbs expand out to that point.
If that's the way that they go,
right?
Because living in Virginia is actually pretty expensive. It's not like land is cheap out there. So yeah, and I think there's a lot of reactions coming from people that use it in DC that use the train, and coming from Maryland that are saying like, why did we spend so much money to build a new line out to Northern Virginia where nobody lives, to have a dilapidated system in downtown that everybody uses every single day?
See, we're having the inverse problem here, where everyone lives in the suburbs and they can't get into the city on the trains because each suburb is its own city and has to approve the budget for the train, and they're all bickering over what they will and won't approve. And so
that's annoying.
Nothing ever happens because they have to get a unanimous vote.
Yeah, that's super annoying. Public transit is infuriating.
There's a political issue that's very much about that. It's
well, yeah,
not really.
I don't want to get into that. It's way outside the purview of this show.
Right, but I mean...
So I guess my question for you guys is, do you feel that weirdness from other people about public transportation? Because when my coworker and I took it down to the Braves game, a bunch of people from our office were like, "Oh, you took the train here?" Like, do you get that from people?
I had someone go off on me because I even suggested that public transportation could be like okay, like because it's so terrible that like at least in Cincinnati, because it's so like dirty and creepy and like not like it doesn't feel safe, that they just like don't even talk to me about like it even being ever like usable.
Yeah. Well, Cincinnati's got its own share of problems. I mean, all four of us are from Cincinnati. I think we all know what those problems are.
But Tyler's right, though. The bus system in Cincinnati is particularly grimy and gross.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like...
Yeah, no, I agree.
For us, like, I feel like for Cincinnati, which is incredibly, like, you belong in this section, that section, you don't belong here, here, here. Like, I feel like Cincinnati's very, like, cliquey, I guess. I feel like that would be a particular thing but I just feel like that's something that Cincinnati would have to overcome that is unique to the city before you can consider, because I just feel like so many people are like, oh, public transportation, I have to go into this part of town. Like, that was always my big gripe about Cincinnati, but...
Do you get that kind of reaction in Columbus, though?
Columbus is a little bit different. Everyone, I don't know about everyone, because Columbus is interesting in that it's got, like, big sections. So I think certain areas would really benefit from public transportation, and I think, like, our generation is really interested in public transportation. But a lot of, like, the older generation is just, like, it wouldn't make sense because Columbus is kind of spread out a little bit. Or, like, financially it wouldn't make sense. I've seen a lot of really cool plans about what they can do to Columbus, but I think our generation is all for it. Now, if I was like, oh, I took the COTA, people would probably be like, oh, gosh, why'd you do that? But, I mean, it's not like people are so against the idea of it. It's just they all know what the COTA is.
I feel like it's a mixed bag in Washington, because I've heard people say, like, oh, yeah, I'm so happy I don't have to take the train anymore. I do anything not to have to take that. I don't know if it's, like, personal preference or if it's something that you really want to do, because I know that if you're lucky enough to have a job that will pay for your transit, there's companies and offices that will provide a subsidy for you to use public transit every day to come to work. As you know, I know that if you work on the Hill, your office will they'll preload your Metro card every month with the amount of money that it takes you to get to work from.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, I mean, I'm talking like on public transit. So if you want to if you need to take a bus to the train station, they'll give you bus fare to take the bus to the train station and the train to work and then back home.
That's super
That's
nice.
cool. That's
So
great.
that's what I mean. It's just like weird thing where, okay, so does it take you a little longer on the train sometimes? Yeah, it does. Like if you don't take during rush hour, you're probably gonna have to wait like 15 minutes in between trains. And now that we're like kind of doing construction, it might be a little bit longer. You might have to wait like half an hour. So you have to be a little bit more diligent on when you plan to do stuff. But if you go during rush hour, you generally get a train every 5 minutes. So
See, that's really nice. Because I looked the other day, my roommate and I were curious. We were trying to figure out, could we physically do our commutes on public transit? And my commute would be about 3 times as long and require walking 1.5 miles once I got to the stop closest to my office. Mm-hmm. But I'm going out of town. His is a lot easier because he's going from midtown to downtown. And he could just kind of like catch a train whenever there's a train, get off at the downtown station and walk to his office.
right.
But the fact that you even have to like think about being diligent like that, I think is too much for a lot of people. They're just like, oh, I don't want to think about that. Like, I just want to go when I want to go. Mm-hmm. And that's really frustrating for me.
Well, I feel like also another part of it that people might freak out about is that you're putting your commute in someone else's hands.
Right.
So, I mean, like, if you wake up late and you get in the car late, then that's your own fault. And you can speed or do whatever if you really feel like you need to make it on time. But if you wake up late and you miss your bus and the next bus is coming in 15 minutes, like, I know for me, that would freak me out because I can't physically do anything for 15 minutes. But just speaking from personal experience, so my family is Japanese and Japan has crazy awesome public transportation. So, like, if that was on the same level, like if our public transit was on the same level as what Japan's rail system is, I would be so fucking down for it. I mean, we're talking like trains, like if they're late by like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the freaking CEO of the rail company like issues a public apology for slowing everyone's day down. Like, that shit runs on clockwork and it's everywhere. So, like, if American public transit could get to that level of reliability and convenience, then I think a lot more people would be open to it. But I think right now, as it stands, in our current society, I don't think it would.
Well, too, Taylor, to what you were saying, you think, like, you to have to micromanage your schedule like that. But I think really a lot of it, because I thought that too, like, maybe the first couple weeks I was here, I was like hours early for stuff because I wasn't sure what it was going to be like to ride the train. I wasn't sure how reliable it was and everything. But you can start to realize, like, I listen to a ton of podcasts when I'm on the train. Like, I fill that time up with podcasts and reading and stuff like that. Like, it's so easy to find stuff to fill that time.
See, and that's what I want. That's the conversation I have all the time with people is like, I waste 20 minutes each way at least on my commute, so 40 minutes a day. I could be doing so much with that time, and I have an easy commute for this city.
Right. And that's like 250, let's just say, that's almost 200 hours a year that you're lost.
Yeah, just behind the wheel of a car.
Right. It's gone.
I mean, more often than not, I want time where I'm like, let me do one thing at a time, please. Let me just listen to my podcast while I drive my car. You know, it's like I almost look for those opportunities, so I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I just kind of zone out, and I'm like, I really don't want to. And that's it. Right. But I have a 6-minute commute.
Yeah, you don't have time for anything. That's nothing.
Yeah, I chose where I live simply because of how close it was to work.
Can you walk to work?
No, I wouldn't want to.
Fair.
Yeah. We get into, like, industrial areas, like scrap theft areas, like, yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw a used needle on the ground the other day. Like, I'm not trying to get no hepatitis C.
So, my last kind of question regarding public transportation, and all of that stuff is, if you could have a train line or a bus line or a streetcar or whatever to anywhere, like express route to any place in your city, where would you want it to go?
I have one, not for the city though.
Okay.
For the entire state of Ohio, I would want a express rail, like bullet train, connecting the 3 C's together.
They've been talking about that for years.
They've been talking about it, and they won't do it. So I really hope they would, because I think that would be really good, like spreading tourism. Like if we could get from Cleveland to Columbus in under an hour, that would be phenomenal. But that's what I would like. The city of Columbus be damned.
So here in Atlanta, there was a train that circled most of the city limits, not the metro, but the city limits. It's since been ripped up, and they're building a hiking trail, and then eventually they're going to put a metro or a MARTA line that goes around the hiking trail, and they're calling it the Belt Line. I just really want them to finish that project. I love the idea of like a hybrid hiking path and transit line, so you can kind of do either, but there's so many obstacles and there's so much like work to be done, and we spent a lot of time on one of the finished sections of the Beltline this weekend, and it was awesome. And I just really hope that the rest of the city like steps up and supports it, and it becomes what it could be.
Shaun, what about you?
I don't know.
You already have a pretty solid.
Yeah, it goes to good places. I think the places that it doesn't go, there's reasons for that. That, you know, like, it doesn't go to, like, the Northwest. And I don't know why, but I feel like it's more because of zoning and stuff, more than it is, like, anything else. Yeah, it's difficult to say. I guess if anything, I just want the trains to work. Like, I just, you know what I mean? Like, it's been 40 years since they've built these things, and it looks like, you know, you get the sense that it's been generally, like, unchanged since then.
Yeah, you can tell that shit was built a long time ago.
Right, and that's what I mean. Like, it's not scary to ride the trains, but there's always, you know, you hear about it, like, once a week there's a train that breaks down somewhere, and, I mean, it could have been you on there, and that's 2 hours that you just lost. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you want the reliability to go up.
Right. Because I feel like they're on time and stuff, and, you know, we're doing construction, so you have to do that, but I don't know.
Fed anywhere in the city, right?
Yeah.
Anywhere to anywhere? I mean, any place that had coffee.
The brown line. It goes to all the local coffee shops. Don't make a poop joke about that, Janet.
You knew it, because I was about to say butthole. Full circle.
And now it's time to end the show as we always do with a round of shameless plugs from the panel. We're going to start with Tyler Reed. Tyler, what would you like the people to do this week?
Hi, everybody. You can check out my work at tylerdreed.com. You should follow me on the socials, such as Instagram and Twitter, at TDR Design. Let's talk.
Do it. He's super entertaining, I promise. Shaun, what would you like the people to do this week?
And I want to see if I changed my Twitter handle. Oh, no, I didn't.
Nope.
Just kidding. All right. So this week, if you already haven't read my article that I kind of talked about, preluded to, because it's already been out for 2 weeks by the time this comes out, on RTB2, you should check it out. It's going to be on there. Probably writing some more here pretty soon as well. And check me out on Twitter at Evans_MURGE. We're going to talk about some stuff on there. And nice to see you again, Janet.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a while.
It's been great having you back, Janet. What would you like the people to do?
I don't know. Do whatever. Lick buttholes. What'd you say?
I said don't.
Oh, I
Don't follow Janet on social media.
Wow. Okay.
Damn.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Is your Twitter still private?
It is.
There you go.
But they can follow you on Snapchat.
Yeah. Can they? I think that's private too, so I think I have to follow you back. I don't really care about... No offense, all you lovely listeners. I'm sorry. I do care about you guys. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, JanetY4 Ford. I will most likely, unless you look really sketch, approve it. Yeah, no. Thanks for having me on the show again. It's been a really long time, so I'm glad to be back on.
And we're glad to have you.
Thanks.
You can follow me on Twitter at TC Olmsted. You can follow the show on Twitter at Dudes Brunch. You can like the show on Facebook, and you can check out our website. Most importantly, though, between now and June 1st, so you have about a week when this comes out, you need to tweet or email in suggestions of what we should do on our 60th episode. It's our second audience choice episode, and so you all get to pick the topics, the challenges, the questions, whatever you want us to do. We will do anything within reason.
And who's going to be on that?
It's going to be me, Shaun, Tyler, Janet, and Emily Bamforth, so the whole Dudes Brunch family. All right, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week for more brunch.
Bye.
She apparently doesn't make that hotline bling because she doesn't have time for Drake's feels. It's Janet's... Oh, fuck. I fucked that intro so bad.
Fucked it up. Keep it. We're rolling. Keep it.
No, I'm redoing it.
Taylor fucked it up. Taylor fucked it up. I want this.
Taylor,
I want this to be my official intro. Please, let's keep it like this. My name is Janet Ford. I like long walks on the beach, and I think Drake's a fuckboy. All right.
Hold up. Are legless lizards a thing?
Yeah, okay, so I've got a story about this. I was at fucking Petco, and there's this really weird lady. Like, you know those those people you just see, and you just know they're cooking meth. Like, you can just tell. She wasn't quite at that level, but, like, you were just like, you're growing something at your house. Like, So anyway, she has this fucking snake around her neck. Just, like, walking around fucking Petco with my pet snake. And I was like, okay, this is fucking weird. And at the time, I was also getting chatted. There's this other crazy lady who was talking to me about hamsters and how I need to order a custom-made hamster wheel. So, like, I had an eye out on both of these fucking nut jobs. And I was like, God fucking damn it. Hamster on one side, snake on the other. So I'm checking out with, what did I go? And whatever. I was buying some sort of food for one of my numerous pets. And snake lady ends up behind me, and this other lady is like behind her, and she's like, "Oh, I like your snake." And the lady just like turns around, she's like, "It's a legless lizard. They're completely different." And I was just like, I need to fucking leave before this lady just shoots someone. But I did look it up. They are different. It looks literally like you would think a snake and a legless lizard look very similar. But they don't. Like, a legless lizard literally looks like if you took, like, a gecko and just cut all of its legs off. So.
But, I mean, to be fair, that might as well be a snake. I understand.
Oh, it should. I agree. 100%. 100%. There is no reason that evolution should have led for a legless lizard and a snake to coexist. Like, they should 100% be the same thing. But, I meet a lot of weird people. But, so that opened my world to the legless lizards. Did you guys like that story?